Hi everyone and welcome to episode 4 of Relegation Rescue here at Augsburg in the Bundesliga. So since the last time you and I were together where we got that amazing 8-0 win against Werder Bremen, we came down to earth with a little minor bump where we came up against Frankfurt away from home and only got a 1-1 draw. It was a bit of a drab game, but we never really got going. It felt like all the legs had been taken out of the guys from the previous game and the euphoria of it, and they just couldn't quite reproduce it. I'm hoping for better today. We're back at home again today against Freiburg today. So, yeah, I'm hoping for better. But in that previous game against Frankfurt, it was just a little bit disappointing and dropped us down a place, I think, into 15th, sitting on 18 points at the moment. We come up against 11th place today, but if we win, we drag them right back to us, or we drag ourselves to them, let's suggest. And again, I'm just struck, if we look in the competition page a little bit clearer, I'm just struck by our goal difference compared to everybody else. It's so superior, even though it's still in the negative, that's got to give us some semblance of confidence moving forward into the remainder of this season. So what I've decided to do for the rest of this season, and we're going to play every other game. So we've got Freiburg, Bayern Munich, Wolfsburg, Paderborn, Köln, Hoffenheim and Leipzig. Those are the games that we're going to play in the rest of the season, and towards the end of it we'll either decide that that's where the series is going to end and we'll move on to something else as a new series, or we might continue this one. So I'm not so worried about making that decision just yet, but if you've got thoughts about it over the next couple of episodes, just leave them in the comments below and we'll see where it takes us. But I'm enjoying my time at Augsburg so far, so I'm open to anything at this moment in time, we'll say. But yeah, that's for another day. In terms of the team itself, we were a bit concerned about Hahn in the last episode, but you can see that he's perfectly fit and healthy and raring to go. He picked up a knock that took him out for about a week and a half, I think it was. It wasn't as bad as we thought it might be. We have lost Freiburg. He's got about another week to go. He's just been having a pulled thigh issue. And you can see that Just Greg is still out for another 12 days at the most. He's rehabilitating a twisted ankle. So those two are out. Everybody else is fit, though, which is good. So I've been able to choose the side that I want to. I've dropped Such Fun just for this particular game to bring Mavropanos in and just see what he can do for us in this league. I want to give him a couple of games and see where he fits into this team. The only other thing to tell you that in the last couple of episodes of both of my saves, I've been done in a little bit through going defensive in games where I've taken the lead, or trying to go offensive when I'm down a bit, and nothing seems to be really working. So I'm beginning to train alternate tactics for when we're in these situations to go to. So we got the Augsburg main, and they're all based around the formation. The formation doesn't change, but the tactics of it does. So Augsburg main stays the same as it were. Custom wing play on a positive with lots of instructions in there. The defensive tactic is a custom control possession. So we slow the pace right down, shorten the passes right down, and try and sort of stifle the game a little bit and become a little bit more physical in it. And then the third one is the Augsburg attack, easy for me to say, which is more of a route one. We've got two guys up front, so we're going to chuck the ball up to them more regularly with more pace, and be about the opposition with more pace, and just see what that can do. So I'm training them as we speak. You see the familiarity is about halfway for them, which is okay. The intensity goes up and down depending on whether it was a defensive or an offensive one, which you can see. But on the main, we're still not quite familiar with it, but the intensity is pretty good, and I think we're getting there with how this particular tactic plays. So that's what I've done in this tactic. I'll probably do a similar one in my other series in Rolling in the Isles, and just see whether we can get a better way of countering what the opposition and what the game has presented to us. So that's the only other thought I had. I'm sure loads of you will have issues with that in terms of I should change shapes and I should change tactics completely and, not stick to anything the same or whatever. That's fine. This is just what I've decided to do for now. If it don't work, we'll change it. It's nothing set in stone at all. But give me your thoughts in the comments below. How do you set up your 3 different tactics? That's the question for today. The 3 tactics, how do you set them up? So yeah, other than that, let's get into this team and see where we're at for today's game. We got Kubek in goal, Jedve at right back, Max at left back, Mavropanos and Udikai in central defence, Gruzo and Alena in central midfield, Hahn and Vargas on the wings, with Richter and Finn Bogerson up top, and a bench of such fun: Lichtsteiner, Hiago, Gibbs, White, Moravec, Diaz, Maya. I've got Needy Man now. Needy that I could never pronounce. He's now called Needy Man. So Needy Man's on the bench, and so is Schreiber. So that's the team for today. Let's get into today's game and see what happens. So apparently recent form has us in about 10th and them in about 15th in terms of the current form guide. So I've asked them to go and show the opposition why in terms of team talk. Interestingly, Freiburg are also playing a 4-4-2, quite similar to us. So we'll match up quite well. Be interesting to see how it goes in the rain. And it looks like they're coming at us first. So let's see if we can hold our shape and really cause them a problem to get through. But so far they've kept the ball nicely down the left-hand side. Cross comes in and it goes over the top of everybody, but they recollect the ball. So again, we're maintaining that defensive shape right in the centre of our penalty box, which is good. It made them use the width, but they couldn't quite break it, which is absolutely fabulous for me. That's the sort of style that we're looking for, keeping those banks of four, keeping it tight and making it hard for them to break down in this particular formation. And so far it's all right, but you can see in terms of match stats we are losing quite considerably in terms of the chances created. But here is the first opportunity for us on a free kick, and it'll be Max that takes it, and the free kick comes in and it goes narrowly wide of that post, and that's unfortunate. But a good sighter at goal for Max. Hopefully later in the game he might be able to have another opportunity, having had that sighter of goal. But yeah, bad goal kick there, wasn't it, really? What was he thinking? And we get a counter-attack straight away into the penalty box, and that all came from the goalkeeping mistake by Kubek. Such a bad clearance by him in the first place led to that goal. Very, very disappointing. I'll be having words with him later if he's not careful. But yeah, you can see straight away gave it to the opposition. Jong comes back and pokes it into, and we just hadn't reset ourselves, those banks of four again. It's that simple thing of, if you're not organised and you're not structured, it becomes harder to perform in the way that you want to. And so far, we've kind of shot ourselves in the foot. Can we get something straight away? Vargas into the box immediately, out to Finn Bogerson, and he does. Nice play by Vargas. He had the opportunity to curl one himself, but he holds the play up very nicely, sees the free man, the better striking option, and feeds it into Finn Bogerson, who then takes his time and clearly shoots into that far corner. So it's a good run by Vargas. I've put him on a slightly more attacking duty than I had before. And Finn Bogerson there, you can see, nicely puts that ball in the far corner. So yeah, perfect little bit of play there for us. Our banks of four are back. Can we hold them out and get a foot in? Cross comes in and we lose the header, and the runner comes in, but at the near post, Kubek gets down and holds the ball nicely. Free kick for them though. They are piling on the pressure, aren't they? Come on, lads, we've got to do something about it. And where's our shape gone? Let's find it straight away and find the momentum of pushing at them and trying to close them down a bit. Doing a decent job at fullback position, slowed the play down, but they hit the woodwork, didn't they? And that was hard graft for us really to hold our shape. It's not going brilliantly well, is it? They are fairly dominant, it feels like. Might have to change something in a moment or two at half time just to see whether we can sort of bring ourselves into this match. But are we going to sucker punch them just at the last section of the first half? Finn Bogerson in the box goes backwards to Vargas, cuts inside, and there's a lovely strike by Vargas. Again, it was the switch, wasn't it? Finn Bogerson this time held up the play really nicely. Did his job fabulously well. He gets to this area and then he stops and he waits and he looks for the spare man, even if it's backwards. And then the run of Vargas, that attacking wide man sort of dribbling run, was perfect into the box, and he took a decent shot, and we go 2-1 up leading into half time. Can we get there without conceding another goal? Where is the defensive cover on this occasion? A bit of a foul there possibly, but they maintain the possession down the right hand side. We were a bit fortunate, I think, not to have a foul against us. We haven't made it to half time. we were in a little bit of disarray slightly after that initial challenge went in that I think was probably a bit dodgy. It led us a little bit awry, and whilst we got the personnel there, you can see that they've got a decent amount of people in that box, haven't they? There's 4 or 5 players in the box for them, and they made the most of it in the end, and that's a bit disappointing leading into half time. But look at these match stats. We're down in possession quite a lot. We're down in shots at goal and shots on target as well. It's not been the best of performances so far, but we're still in the game. So we're going to go in and assertively say we've been the better side. I'm not sure we have, but see if we can get some passion into them. So passionately, what's the option? You weren't that bad. You can still improve. I have faith. Yeah, let's use that one to see if we can boost them up a little bit. And see whether we can, all I want is positivity, really, which is why I used the original team talk of, you've been the better side, even though they haven't, just because I want to build them up at this precise moment. We've been in the doldrums for too long, and it's time for us to do something about that. But again, with the goal kick, what is it with him giving it straight to Jong on that right-hand side? Really, really bad. And we've completely given away all the opportunity we had to build up from the back. I'm going to change his goal kicks, I think, and put them slightly shorter somehow and get them into somebody else who can get it higher up the pitch. And they maintain possession very nicely round the different areas of the pitch, but then they lose it. But we only half clear it, really, back into an area where we had no support. And they come back at us again. Ooh, long shot, and a really good long shot, but narrowly wide. Let's give them a bit of a shout in a second as well to encourage them to keep moving forward. So we'll see what this one brings. Though Richter on the right hand side skips past the player into the box, and that's a really poor shot, isn't it? I can't wait to get Just Greg back in the side again, because he was doing quite well before we had an injury to him. So we're going to encourage the team at this point and see whether we can get them to push on again. It didn't have too much of a response, did it? A couple of them are motivated, but not all of them. And again, it's Freiburg down their right-hand side into central positions. We should have cleared it at that point. That was disappointing. Half clearance there. Can we get it fully cleared? We don't. What sort of tap-on is that? That was very poor. And they come back at us again. Again, though, we reset the shape. And this is the good thing about where we're at the moment, is that shape is good and solid. It's just what can we do with it once we've won it from this point. And it's Elena over the top to Richter. Oh, good goalkeeping. A decent shot, but it was straight at the goalkeeper, unfortunately. He could have put it either side, and we might have a different result there. But it's time to go in and have a look at some changes in personnel. What have we got in terms of ratings? We've got a lot of 6.6s, which is really poor. Okay conditioning, so let's see what we can do. We're going to take Hahn off and put Diaz on. We're going to take Richter off. He's had a couple of chances, hasn't taken them, and we're going to let's bring Needy Man on, and then one defensive one we're going to do. And what's happened to Max? Max has got a 6.5 rating. Iago's on the bench snapping at the bit to get on, so we're going to take him off. Even if it's our star man, if he's got a 6.5, he don't stay on. That's not good enough. We expect more from our players, and we'll tell them that if they don't perform. But again, with the poor goal kick this time from them rather than us. And Diaz rises a challenge, gets into the box, into Needy Man. Oh, the goalkeeper fluffs his lines, and it goes underneath his outstretched hands. And Needy Man gets the ball in the back of the net, and we take a 3-2 lead. So what would you do, folks? Here's the pause of the game. What would you do? We're just about to see the highlight again. Would you go defensive at this point? You tell me before I do it. You tell me, what would you do? Go defensive, stay as you are, go offensive to try and see out the game? Would you ultimately go defensive? I'm not going to in this particular position. I'm going to stay as I am and try and see out the game playing as we are. I think it's doing okay. And I don't want to draw this particular team on us. They've been too potent, as it were, already in getting opportunities at us. So I'm going to stay as I am. But is that a mistake? We will find out in the next 10, 15 minutes of this particular match. You can see that Freiburg are still ahead of us in all the statistics of the game. But the one that matters so far is that we've got a lead and we haven't any more. And there's the error. Is it an error? How can you could second guess yourself with this game all the time? I should have gone defensive, should I? Probably. You'll all tell me that you would have gone defensive. That's fine, but it hasn't worked for me recently. And the tactics that we've been put in place for that we haven't got up to standard yet either, so I don't know. Anyway, it is what it is. It's another high-scoring game at least. Over the top again for Needy Man, and he's got a chance, and it's a good defensive block, but it goes out for a corner kick. And this will be one final opportunity maybe to get the ball in the box properly from Elena and see if we can get something on it. So Elena steps up, left-footed, far post corner. It's partially cleared out to Vargas, and that's a very poor touch. Very, very poor touch. Just at the point where you need us to be clinical and concentrated. It was really, really poor. We get another draw. It's a big, high-scoring game, a 3-3 draw. Oh, dear. Maybe it's going to be trickier than I first thought, but I still believe in this team. I still think we've got what it takes. I'm going to tell them that it was disappointing because ultimately it was. I'm far from pleased with what I saw. What's that going to do to our league position and our chances of catching those around us? So currently we are still sitting in 15th, which isn't as good as I'd like. We should be up here by now, really, after those couple of draws that we've had. But anyway, it is what it is. It's going to be a harder season than maybe we first thought, but I still think we can reach this top 10 position, this 10th place if possible. We'll have to wait and see though. But yeah, difficult game, wasn't it? Difficult to know exactly what to do. I second-guessed myself too much. Now that I've set my tactics up, hold me to this in the future. Now that I've set them up, if we go down a goal, we go ultra-attacking in that attacking option that we've got. If we go up a goal, we go defensive. We try and see it out for a little while. That's what it's designed to do. I shouldn't second-guess myself. Tell me what you'd do, though. Always interested to hear your thoughts on stuff. But yeah, that'll do it for today. Thanks very much for joining me. Bit of a damp episode in the terms of the result, but I think we're making slow progress. At least we're getting the goals, which is positive. So thanks for joining me. Hope you're enjoying the series so far. If you are, subscribe to the channel. Keep up to date with the videos. If you like this particular episode, click a like on it for me. It's so important for the growth of my channel to keep that those likes coming in, because it gets other people seeing my content. But until next time, great to have you with me. Thanks very much for joining me. Bye for now.